Just because a girl is cute doesn't mean you can trust her. She just may very well be a toxica. Stay tuned. All right, so welcome back, fellow collectors. So if you saw my video of The Gathering back in October, this was one of the figures that I picked up during a 2-con in one-day haul. If you didn't see that, go ahead and check that out. But today we got Toga from My Hero Academia. All right, to start off with the box art. So this is Bandai Namco Masterline My Hero Academia Let You Down series. I'm guessing that's what it is. So obviously it's Toga, or in this case, Himiko Toga. There's the front of the box right there. Okay. The side, just a silhouette. Back, beautiful artwork, kind of a front and back shot of her. And then the side, just that kind of yellow, faded out version of herself. And then right here, just a quick picture of the figure itself. So there's the box art right there. One more time. And let's move on to the figure itself. So just quick background on Toga in case you don't know. Her ability or her quirk is she's able to mimic the person she gets blood from.
Himiko Toga. Her quirk, transform. By ingesting someone's blood, she can transform into that person.
If I drink someone's blood, I can turn into them. Whatever I take in turns into energy, so the more I drink, the longer I can hold on to the form. 1 cup lets me look and sound like someone for about a day. Plus, if I drink a bunch of different people's blood at the same time, I can turn into any of them. I can recreate their clothes too. But they get layered under my own, so it helps to get naked before I transform, which can be a little embarrassing sometimes.
See?
Throughout the show, you see her trying to attack people with knives, blades, syringes, anything to get their blood, because she does need that initially in order to engage her power.
Shallow. Not much blood. I'm Toga. Geez, you two are super cute. Uraraka and Asui. Not enough blood. Normally I'd suck it directly from the cut to make it flow, but there's no time. Don't worry, girls. This machine will start pumping it out as soon as I stick it in you. I'll get my fill and move on. Who's first?
And at first, all she was able to do was clone herself to look like another individual. As the show progressed, her powers also progressed. So she was not only able to look like an individual, she was actually able to perform their quirks or their powers. So real quick here's Toga. And as you can see, it's always starting with the bottom, the base, big old clunky base like I've always mentioned I don't like, but hey, this is what it is. But moving up to her shoes, very schoolgirl outfit overall, kind of like that sailor style schoolgirl outfit, Japanese schoolgirl. The shoes are a brownish shade of color. The socks are kind of a bluish shade of color. What I'm initially seeing is they are subtle different shades, especially with the shoes, different kind of brown shade, etc. Socks actually look like one solid color, but they're actually very detailed. They do have those lines, those rivets that long socks have. Moving up, as we can see, she actually has these little holsters strapped into her thighs with little blades sticking out on each side. Her skirt right there is kind of it's the plaited look, different shades, dark blue with a little bit of black in it. And then she has her arsenal, her kind of utility belt right here around her waist, basically for, I'm guessing, her syringes and other weaponry that she has in her arsenal. Now, in order to store the blood, yes, Toga does carry these tanks on her. I'm gonna take this off. These tanks on her just to store the blood whenever she needs it, because yes, even though she does gather these samples of blood, she doesn't initially use them right away.
And once you get to that point, there's no going back. That's how love works, right?
So that's what actually makes her very devious, is that you never know when she's actually going to be able to utilize her quirk in order to do spy mission, espionage missions, things like that, assassination missions. She's a perfect candidate to do that. But as you can see, the tanks right here that she has on her shoulders and the back, we can see all the details with the silver bottles, canisters, and all the wires, kind of like a Bane kind of look when he has the venom going, in essence, where Bane has the wires, the plugs, the hoses strapped onto his body, going to his head. Same thing here, but instead she's actually just carrying the tanks in the back, as well as on her shoulders right there, as you can see. Different paint job than the rest of the figure, and I really like that because it provides a contrast, because as you can see, it's a lot of flat, or kind of a matte finish. But with the tank and also with those kind of teeth right there on her scarf, it's a metallic color. So I think it provides a perfect amount of contrast. She has this huge freaking scarf around her neck that when she actually engages in battle, she does actually put it up around her face. But it looks like a big old grinning smile of metal teeth when she does do that. Now, her being the character that she is, in case you're not familiar with her, she is pretty crazy. She would, in my best description, be a teenage anime version of Harley Quinn if she was traumatized like Harley Quinn at a young age. So if you can kind of visualize that scenario comparison, that's the kind of character that Toga is. She does have her hair right here in buns, but as you can see, they're not very nice or very tightly done. Very wild, bunned up, yes, but they're just sticking out, hairs are just sticking out every which way. Right here, you can see her bang kind of flying in her face right there. But that's probably the one thing about this figure right here that I absolutely love is, look at that portrait. The portrait just screams bloodlust. Like, she has that drunken look. Imagine if a vampire just sunk his teeth into a victim they've been wanting for years. That's the kind of look that portrait right there on Toga has. Very whimsical, very psychotic at the same time. But overall, I mean, very inexpensive figure. A little bit more pricier than a typical small scale figure like these, but as you can see, there's a reason why. A little bit more detailed and a little bit more color variation. The pose itself, it's not really a dynamic pose. She's just kind of standing there with her arm across her face, or really her chest right here. Like I said, it looks like she just got done draining somebody's blood and she's just kind of blood drunk at this point. But those are my overall thoughts about this Toga figure here. As you can see, I have no complaints about it, except that now she doesn't want to stand. But that's only because I'm messing with it. If you just leave it alone, stands fine. But I'd like to know what you guys think about this figure here, or any other Toga or My Hero Academia figures you may have. So go ahead and leave your comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it helps me out tremendously. And as always, collect what makes you happy.